Nicole.
So this may be jumping the gun, but all this doom and gloom about prices going up. You know what's happening when you buy a house and then you look at the price next year? You're just putting money in your pocket.
You're making
How much?
money,
You're making 33% on your investment. You can't get that with a savings account, stock market.
Yep.
Bitcoin.
It's a great place to put your money.
Pretty good part-time job to own a home right now.
Welcome, everybody, to our team meeting. Let's hear it.
Yes! Good energy, good energy.
Thank you. We are here to talk about the stats of the real estate market in Southeast Idaho. And I'm going to start.
And begin.
Let's just bust right into it. I'm
go.
Jeremy Manwaring. And I think that's the right way.
Just the stats, Jack.
Just the stats, Jack. That's
Every
Jessica's
time.
tagline.
We only have done this a year now, but we're still struggling with that part.
So guess what homes are selling in Southeast Idaho? Are we feeling it?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. This is March 2021 compared to March 2020. Last year, there was 227 homes that sold. This year, 197.
So I might mention this is Bonneville, Jefferson, and Bingham counties.
Yep. Snake River Plain.
The Snake River Plain.
Yep.
A 13% decrease. Are you guys feeling that in the market, that there's less homes available for your buyers to choose from?
Yes. Do you think if we had more homes on the market, we'd sell more homes? I mean, we're down, but yes.
Absolutely.
Do you think there's as much? Yeah.
So we are down the number of homes that are selling. And here's a breakdown per price range. And these are closed?
No.
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
Switch to your next slide. I didn't know it. Yes.
Those are closed per price range, right?
Yes. This is per price range of closed in March.
Just March.
Correct.
So the interesting thing, most of those are between 2 and 400,000. So the lower end price ranges are especially tight right now. Still a lot of transactions though.
Yeah.
So the volume of homes that are selling is decreasing a little bit. Not that much. We just have more buyers than we have sellers.
It blows me away that 500 to 600 in 1 month, 13 homes. I mean, that really shows the price increases because that was, I mean, that used to be our oneers and twosers. 13 in a month.
Yeah, the strongest point of the market's 200 to 400,000. It used to be like that 100 to 200 was strong, but now that's been taken over by 400 to 600,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that 200,000, there's quite a bit more going on than 1 to 2. It's crazy.
It's so true. So obviously in March from last year to March this year, just that 1 month, we had a 13% decrease. But year to date, is it quite as bad? Not too bad. There's just a 10% decrease. And so year to date, there's not quite as much of a compression that we're feeling from lack of inventory. But that's still, the number of transactions are down, or homes that are closing is down 10%.
And I think if the buyers had what they wanted out there, we would be selling a record amount of homes right now. We need more inventory because, I mean, it's hard to guess what that number would be, but I mean, if we had more of a stable market, I think we'd be closer to, 750 homes sold.
Oh, for sure.
Are you guys finding that buyers are out there having to wait for the house that they want? Do you have buyers out there kind of doing that?
Well, I think people are more willing to make compromises as to what is on their short list of needs. And so they're, okay, we really wanted 2 bathrooms, but we're not finding that, so we'll compromise. And so that tends to be what I'm seeing, is that people aren't quite as specific. So
That's good. If you're a seller especially, right?
Yeah.
You may not have to do the major repairs that you had to do in the past, so that's good. What else you seeing? Nicole? You've had a ton of transaction, lots of buyers. Is it multiple offer situations? Are you just the only one that's there willing to buy it? What's happening there?
Yeah, definitely multiple offer situations. And my clients are now wanting to wait. They're not feeling the pressure, and I don't know what that's causing, but they're saying, hey, I'm just going to wait for the next one. That they're not crazy jumping on the bandwagon of, driving the prices up. They're just like, there'll be another one. There's going to be another one and another one. So
Well, I think that's an indication of what we tell people, right? That their homes are coming. They just come on fast. So people realize, oh my word, another one comes on tomorrow. Another one comes on tomorrow. I don't have to settle because I just need to wait a day or two. Yeah.
But the buyers I do have are making multiple offers. So they're putting an offer on one, then like, oh, I'm sticking where I want to stick. And so then I'll just make an offer on another one.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're not making offers and not willing to buy something, but they're willing
Makes
to
sense.
wait too and not pay crazy prices.
Yeah, not pay crazy prices. So that leads us to the next slide. Last year in March, the average price of homes that sold was $264,000. This year, $348,000.
And the national average is still 314.
Wow.
Last year, we were freaking out that we were at 264.
Yeah.
We should cut back
That's
to
right.
last year's stats meeting.
Yeah. And then this number is unbelievable to me that not only did we have it for 1 month, but we've seen this for a few months now. Average sales price last year in January was a little over $218,000. And right now in 2020, average is $248,000. Do you know how many years we sat around 120,000 or lower for so many years? And to go up 14% in 1 year?
Okay, so average price, like Jeremy said, this is crazy. I mean, we're seeing a 17.6% increase in pricing.
In July of 2020, up 16.8%. $294,962. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, could you imagine next year if we're at like 450?
Wow.
I mean, it's
Chad said it first.
And what does that mean?
460.
It's time to buy and it's time to list right
yeah,
now.
Right now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well put.
Especially if you're going to borrow money, right? Because
Yeah.
everything's on sale with the interest rates being so low. You don't have to pay as much interest.
Yeah.
But that is a 32% increase. But let's go year to date because that'll tell us better than 1 month on its own. But it's still the same 33%, right? So that's not just an anomaly. It is what's happening over the entire market. We are just seeing such an increase. And that lower end is probably going quicker than the upper end as far as percentage, but per price range, you can see that it's just going up everywhere.
Well, and we did a post this past weekend, and I looked at the cost of construction. Cost of construction drives this price up as well. I looked online, and OSB board, which is the most commonly used construction material,
Lumber,
is when you Google it, it says it should be $6 to $10 a board, and that's what your cost will be. Well, when you go to Home Depot, it's $60 a board. And so as a result of that, if people can't afford to build or there's a lack, they move toward buying existing homes, right? So that also takes our price, and then the price of cost of construction goes up, the existing home goes. I mean, it's all tied together. Nicole?
So this may be jumping the gun, but all this doom and gloom about prices going up, you know what's happening when you buy a house and then you look at the price next year, you're just putting money in your pocket.
You're making
How much?
money,
You're making 33% on your investment. You can't get that with a savings account, stock market,
Yep.
Bitcoin.
It's a great place to put your money.
Pretty good part-time job to own a home right now.
That is an
That's a good-
interesting
that's a good
scenario.
point,
So
yeah.
last year, the average a buyer earned in Idaho Falls $40,000 of equity.
Wow.
That is an excellent part-time job.
That's almost a full-time job.
Excellent
I mean,
part-time job.
there's people that
Holy
make 40.
moly.
Yeah.
Chad,
like,
that is crazy to think about.
And these guys
Just by
will tell
living in
you,
your house.
yes.
these guys from PRMI Mortgage will tell you exactly how you can use that right now without selling your house. So that's pretty interesting too.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So let's look at the other pressures that buyers are feeling, because Nicole said we're going into multiple offer situations. So if you list a house right now for $100,000, last year you could expect $98,000. This year you can expect $102,000 for your $100,000 listing.
Yeah.
So if you're 3 times that, that really makes a big difference. And Brian, you're the king of getting the most out of someone's house as a seller, right?
Well, I think my list is sold right now is 105.5. So
Wow.
yeah.
But no biggie.
Way above
No
whatever.
big deal. I'll
You know.
just get you another 4%.
Brian does the job to pay for himself.
Yeah,
That's
bingo.
what he does.
There it is.
That is good. Very good.
What's interesting about the list to sell ratio is that when you're feeling these overpriced, when you make offers and you're feeling that, you're still seeing we're continually, on average, still staying a little above. It's not 15% over and 20% over on average. So you got to know that it's still, the market it feels crazy in the moment, but it is out there and.
People love to tell the most extreme story.
Yeah.
People love to tell good stories. This house went 30,000 over. Well, this says that doesn't happen the majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the times that it does get accepted, how likely is that deal that's so much higher to fall apart?
No. Yep.
The
Well,
termination rate's very high.
Because this is
on those.
closed. You
This
got to
is
get to
closed.
closing to get into this number.
Most
Well, and you
homes are
say
only
that,
going
yeah,
a few
you say when
thousand over.
something goes 30K over, is it listed right to begin with?
Yeah.
You know, did they list it low to get 30K over and now it's right where it should be? Right. So
Yeah.
really it just depends.
But even that doesn't reflect in those
Yeah,
numbers.
and that's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so it really, like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. I mean,
Yeah.
it does, but not often.
Usually it's not the case.
So on this, for you guys, do you find you're having to come up with packaging your deal more than just going up in price?
Yeah.
Are you guys coming up with strategies for your buyers that are beyond price increase?
Yeah, you got to make it as clean as you can.
Yeah.
I mean, if the listing agent knows that offer is clean, they're going to push that offer more than they're going to push an offer that's 25K over.
Would you say it's more important to meet with your buyer's agent and have a strategy about that now?
Absolutely.
Than ever before?
Yeah.
Well, and it's also important to have that understanding and what those strategies are going to be before you're even walking through the door. Because if there isn't an understanding with your buyer's agent exactly what strategies they're going to implement, then at the end of the day, you're going to get blindsided by like, oh, it's all about price. Well, price plays a portion of it, a big portion, but then there's all of these other factors that are really important to sellers and to listing agents. And so to have someone on your team that explains that up front so that nothing is a surprise when you're going to do an offer.
Yeah. And as you think of with Brian and listing agent, there's a different perspective, but almost kind of goes off of that.
Well, and we review 5-10 offers at a time, right? And price is price. Everyone loves a good high price, but I can't tell you how many times we've turned down the highest price for cleaner terms, better, and things that sellers don't necessarily even understand. I mean, they see the price, they see the numbers, they go, okay, I like that. But let me explain the other things and what causes this deal to be better. And those are really winning out more often than not. So
Which has been reflected here,
well,
right?
and it's funny too. Sometimes you'll just agents going the extra mile to make a connection with me and explain, hey, this is what we're doing, and we have this flexibility, and all these different things. Give me more information so I can present that better to the seller, right? I mean, those are just easy things to do.
And that comes with a confident agent
Bingo.
who knows their job and does their job, right?
Mhm. Yes.
That's the hard stuff that buyers and sellers don't see in the background of real estate. Is there's a lot of expertise and work that goes into beyond just writing a price on a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole.
So, Chad, you said that there's scary stories, and we all love a scary story. I had a fantastic house listed at $280, and just looked. That was 2 months ago, and it sold for $42,000 over list. And I looked at it and I pulled the comps. That's exactly where it should have sold for. So even though it was listed at $280 and they paid $42,000 over the list, that's exactly where the comp held it. I was surprised because I sent it to my buyer and I said, hey, look what this house that you bid on sold for. They said, holy crap. I said, it's right where it should have been. It's exactly where it should have been. 2 months.
And so if there's a bunch of those that are selling, maybe on the median price might even be closer to 100%,
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
The stats reveal it.
Stats
Yeah.
reveal it.
Regardless, the overall increase from last year is 3.9%, which tells a better story than just onesie twosies, right? And there is a ton of buyer activity, and they are pushing each other up.
So I think the most important takeaway here is that if you want to buy a home, you got to have a plan.
Yeah.
The days of just showing up and saying, I want to write an offer on this house, you are not going to get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you got to meet with us. You got to have a sit down. You got to kind of know how things work and what you have to do. And that's how people are getting houses.
The buyer's consultation is essential now.
Yeah.
And listing consultation, essential.
Last one for me, list to sold percentage year to date is 2.8%. So March over March was a little more, which may not mean anything, but there is still the same activity as the year to date as was last year. So
Yeah, I'd say it's just showing that the market is just tight. I mean, it's still tight. It's tightening.
yeah.
So anyway, cool. So let's talk about how does that reflect on how quickly homes are selling. So average days on market, we're seeing last year 42 days on the market. And it's no surprise to us that now we're sitting at 23 days. I mean, so that's a decrease of 46%. Homes are selling on average 46% faster than they were selling last year.
So can you explain that a little? Because when I talk to my buyers, I say, guess what? This house is for sale today. It's not for sale tomorrow, but 23 days on market. Does that mean from an accepted offer all the way through to the end of the deal? That doesn't mean houses are sitting there for sale for 23 days.
Well, and to speak to that is that we're seeing such a huge influx of people coming from out of town. And so we've got a lot of out-of-state clients that are buying homes sight unseen. And so that number of 23, we've got lending falling through, but then we also have people that show up that haven't had a full understanding of what the home is that they have bid on. And we see a lot of homes come back on the market because they come and they're either disappointed or they want something different or something along those lines. So that days on market, 23 days, that's reflective of all of those homes that are coming back on the market. And so, but the vast majority of the time, I mean, all of my colleagues will attest to, we're looking at 2 and 3 days, and that's it. And so it's a matter of like jumping on things immediately and having full transparency with your agent.
So it's active depending, and then if it goes back on the market, it adds
adds
on to
more
the
days.
time
Adds on
before,
more
but
active,
it does
yeah.
not include,
Close.
30 days of pending.
So that probably is reflected in whatever is overpriced. It's going to take a little longer in the upper end, right?
Yeah, it's active depending.
We're going to see when we get to the inventory, you'll see there are still homes that have been sitting, which blows our
Adds
minds.
to it all, yeah. So last year, we were talking about the 42 days, and that it was probably closer to 20 days. Right now, it's 23 days. It's probably closer to half of that, really, on average, with the ones that are
that's a
going.
good point.
So, anyway, okay, so here we have year to date. That was before was March over March. So year to date, we're seeing basically the same thing. I mean, it was 48 last year. It's 24 right now. So we're seeing a 50% decrease in year to date overall. And it's trending towards that to continue. And we'll show some stats that are showing that that's true. So as far as current homes that are on the market right now, so again, we're talking Bingham County, we're talking Bonneville County, and we're talking Jefferson County.
And this was as of yesterday at the end of business.
As of yesterday, the end of business, 99 homes on the market. The good news is we are starting to trend up in inventory. It was lower last month. It was 91%. So we're up by 26%, which is what we hope and what we have to have in the market because the spring is moving forward. We hope to be over 100, next month. It'd be awesome if we were at 115. We'll see if we can be in that area. And absorption rate, it's kind of a term that we use as real estate agents to kind of understand the market. Bottom line, it is a strong seller's market. Strong seller's market.
Well, and just
unhealthy strong seller's market.
Just to describe what absorption rate is because I talk to clients all the time about this because it's really impactful, is that if we sold out of all of our inventory right now, we'd be gone in 22 days.
Yeah.
And that's exceptional. And so, but we're all celebrating that we're looking at a 99 homes on the market because, just a matter of 3 months ago, we were at around 40. So, it's
what's
really
interesting about this is we pulled the stats on the current homes on Friday, and we were at 117 on Friday.
Wow.
Monday, we got to 99.
Yeah.
So we had nearly 20% of the market go under contract over the weekend.
Yeah. And we're going to add a new slide to put that in perspective because we don't, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but we see that number of 99. And for example, in Bonneville County, a little over half of that's in Bonneville County. We see that number. We see how many buyers are like, there's nothing out there. Well, it doesn't reflect the circulation of inventory. We're not that far off on homes sold this year over last year. It just shows how quickly they're being bounced up. So here is our inventory levels.
Top green buttons, favorite one.
Yeah, we got some pointers here. We're gonna point. So basically, again, most of all the activity is from $0 to $500,000, and that's basically 56 of the units. 43 of the units are in the higher price range. We talk about the days on market being less than what's actually reflected. This is why.
Well, look at that one on the 0 to
Yeah,
100,
the 95,000.
203 days.
Yeah,
It must be
yeah.
like cash only or something.
It
Yeah.
must have been rough or
Yeah.
something.
I think it's a single wide without a
Something.
foundation.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, I think it's.
What did you
A
say?
trailer
So
might have been a trailer.
what happens
Yeah, it
on
is, for sure.
these 8, basically, hey, the market's hot. I want to, put my home up for sale. I saw a home that went on the market last week. It is so overpriced. I mean, the market's hot, but it's not crazy like that. And so there's no way. So what these people, when they put it on, they eventually realize, oh, okay, it's a crazy hot seller's market, but it's not a magic market. Okay, you still have to be comparable. And so anyway, so these are what makes our numbers look higher. Brian.
Well, and I'll even, go out to meet with people on listing and selling their home, right? And they'll always tell me their expectation of, oh, the market's hot. It must be worth $1 million. I go, okay, well, we have to review expectations. It is bonkers. It is crazy hot market right now, but it's not exactly that. And so it's a good idea to just show them, hey, here's the high price and the scarcity price because, there are a few homes and you've got one. And so if you want to achieve this high price, this is probably the highest, but still, there's always potential, right? But they always want to shoot for the higher, and I swear that's every seller right now. So I get it. It's, hey, well, what can we get away with? Expectations, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As soon as you understand the power of the market, things start to click better because you're only 1 or 2 homes on the market. Brian and I talk about this a lot. 1 of 2 homes, you're either the one that sells or the one that helps the other home sell. So if you're priced right, you're going to be the one that sells. If you're priced too high, you're going to make all the other homes look better. And thank you very much. You're going to help them get 102% of list price.
And you'll be out there in 101
That's
days.
true.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about the market overview here for this area as far as pendings go. This is a new slide that we just added because I think sometimes we see that number of 59 or 61 active homes in Bonneville County. This morning, Bingham County has 25 homes on the market. Jefferson County has 21. I threw in Madison County. They only have 15 homes on the market. It's crazy. Well, guess what? There's 434 pendings right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these
It's a lot of
99
inventory.
homes, we
It's a
see
lot
what
of
Jeff saw. In a
inventory.
matter of 2 days, 20% of the market was gone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so average price $355. Average days on market, 26.
So on that, just mention current pendings means it is pending, it is not closed, and but is under contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we use under contract with contingency and under contract. So both of those are in that number, and that is a crazy amount of inventory.
So use your visual analogy of the water.
Oh,
This is a good place for that.
this is a great place. So when I talk to people about how it feels in the market right now, is you talk about, it used to be where you'd get in your canoe and you'd go out on the lake, and you had a big lake, and you paddle around and enjoy the water. And it'd be nice, and you paddle at your own speed. Well, now there's just as much water, but instead of it being in a lake, it's in whitewater rapids. And you've got to make a plan, and you've got to be ready to battle and be aggressive because the water moves fast. It's still there, it's just fast. So the plan is important, your gear is important, your guide is important, and you jump in that water and you paddle. But it's there.
It's not a tubing market, it's a fly fishing market.
Yeah.
It's not leisurely.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
All right. So, so 56 days on market. In this Bonneville County, we have 56 homes on the
This
market.
is Idaho Falls.
Idaho
so
Falls.
this is all the boundaries of all 5 Idaho Falls high schools.
Yep.
Yep.
And these were stats yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
just to show you how much this market's changing. This was last night at like 7 o'clock, 8
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. This morning, 59. So, that's a percentage change. Every day, the market is just continually moving and changing. Here's a breakdown of Idaho Falls inventory. Again, we're seeing the majority of the market is in the $100,000 to $500,000 price range. And when we're seeing these higher days on market is again in this higher price range. Homes that aren't realistically priced. Another name for someone who's too high priced is maybe an unmotivated seller. They're more interested in possibly taking advantage of the market and getting top of the dollar than they are in actually moving.
Well, I think also what's super interesting about this inventory is that we've got 33 average days on market at 200 to 299. There's 15 homes there that those prices are still too high. So, I mean, that 200, those guys are probably under 200 type of homes, but they want to aim for that over 200 mark, and they're sitting there. I mean, our average closing is, so that's an interesting one, I thought.
But I would also point out is that is the price range that is the hottest price range. So as you see, the count is 15 in that. So they're going to turn as well. So they're going to go pending and they're going to come back on, and the likelihood of that happening in that price range is much more high than any of the other price range, because that is the hot price point.
And you have to feel there's more things, and also that will need some repairs. You know, that is not a pristine home in that 2 to 3. You might need some repairs in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, and these here that have 33 days on the market, I mean, they're probably going to be dropping the price soon. They went about 10 grand too high.
Yeah.
So,
and we've been seeing a little bit of that too.
So maybe,
price drops,
I mean, it's all part of how you negotiate that with a buyer, because if the home's on 2 weeks, you might be able to get under full price right now. So.
Well, when Jessica was talking about having the right equipment to be in the rapids, I think that's a big thing that our team has. I know my buyers, when they first get started with me, are freaked out about the market. It's like they've jumped in the raft with no life vest, and they don't have, the right shoes and all that kind of stuff. But I would say all of my buyers have been super happy with the price. None of them have been regretful of what they've bought, because we have strategies to help them, and they don't feel frantic as they are working through this market.
No. Well, when you watch the river, it looks dangerous and rough. When you get in the raft with your agent that's a guide, it's fun, because you have a plan, you know what to expect, your gear's ready.
Yeah, if you are struggling you feel like you're drowning in this market, being with an agent that has, a buyer's consultation and gives you your life jacket, tells you when to hold on and where to sit on the raft, then, I mean, whitewater rafting, if you're not prepared, it's terrifying and very dangerous. If you're prepared, I mean, it's a great fun time, and you can have fun in this market.
If somebody's watching this video that doesn't understand, this is a very local analogy. If this is where people come to whitewater rafting.
Whitewater rafting. If you've never been whitewater rafting, well, then you probably need to come to Idaho and understand our analogies.
We'll take
you.
And come see the water that we have. So anyway, Idaho Falls, we have basically 280 homes pending in Idaho Falls area, Bonneville County. So
it's nearly 3 times as much as inventory.
Yep. So again, that's a great sign. It means that the homes are coming on. They're just going fast. But I think this gives us, and it's a slide we never really needed before. But right now, this slide is a helpful stat that helps us basically understand, the market's still healthy.
All right, so we talked a little bit about interest rates, right? The cost of holding a house and borrowing money makes it more affordable. Well, we have a new lender that is right across the street from our team, and they have joined us today. PRMI, there they are on the side. Yay! Wes and Hunter.
Hello, thank you. I'm Wes Tischler. I am with PRMI, Primary Residential Mortgage, Inc.
Just stand a little closer.
Mic. Okay.
This is his first time.
It is. I'm not used to being mic'd up. I usually just yell. Today's my birthday, so thank you everybody for coming to celebrate. But that aside, I am with PRMI, and a lot of what you guys have been talking about today is so integral to what we try to do in terms of helping and becoming an additional guide in that raft. From the mortgage lending standpoint, it's integral that you take your buyers and your sellers representation, actually, when you're in a seller meeting and discuss mortgage. A couple of main points is that first off, if you're only putting 20% down on a $300,000 house and you have a 33% increase, your house went from $300,000 to $400,000, so you made $100,000 but you only leverage 20 of your own money, so you really have a 500% return on your money when you look at it from that perspective. But aside from that, what we really try to do is be part of your team in order to make sure that you have the strongest offers possible. There's different techniques and methods that we look at in order to do that. Fully pre-approved buyers, for example, would allow you to waive a financing contingency and put in an offer with a 14-day close and no financing contingency. So you're competing with cash buyers at this point.
So tell us what that means. It means they're fully underwritten?
They're fully underwritten. We've looked at their credit. We've looked at their income. We've looked at their assets. We've signed off on it. And there is no financing question anymore for that price point. It's a matter of title work and an appraisal.
So how long does it take to get that type of pre-approval?
That's a week.
A week?
You can do that in a week. That's one specific method of helping you guys put together the strongest offers possible and helping those buyers navigate the waters that we're in right now. What we really try to focus on at PRMI is going to be the service that you need to sell more homes and to help your buyers get into those homes without hassle. We have we're based in Salt Lake City, but we actually have a big presence here in Idaho. We have branches in Boise and Meridian, and now here in Eastern Idaho. We have local underwriters and processors. We can dial up our underwriters and ask a question any given moment. I've talked to a couple of you already about that, and after the meeting, I have some answers. So that's a really great benefit to have your lender across the street, always available and guiding you in terms of creating the best platform possible for your customer. After 18 years in this industry, we have the programs, the products, everything that you're going to need in order to get those guys closed, and some out-of-the-box thinking to perhaps help other issues. Inventory. We have FHA and VA construction loans that allow people to get a construction loan with less than perfect credit or with 0 to 3.5% down. That's something that really is not common in the market. So having these conversations about different programs and products can also help out. But in the end, it's all about having that navigator and that professional that can look at the situation and help you guys get your deals closed. Hunter here is going to be your primary contact locally, and he has me on speed dial, and I'm here going over all of what PRMI has available for you with him, and we'll continue to build our team and help you guys out. Hunter?
Yeah, really well.
We know Hunter.
You've seen me before.
It's like you went on vacation and came back a loan officer.
Isn't that weird? How does that work? That's funny. Thanks,
Careful
Wes.
when you go to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said. You know, when we've been talking about everything and basically this market is crazy. I mean, it never sleeps. And I think, you need somebody who's not gonna sleep with you, right? And you're gonna need somebody who is with you 24/7, who you can call up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night and, get a pre-approval letter. And that's what we're here to do. We're here just to help you and we're on your team. So
I have a question for Brian with what you said, Wes. Brian's our listing agent. He's dealing with the sellers all the time. How often do you see offers that are finance-based, but they're waiving their financial contingency?
Almost never. I mean, I see them. They
How
happen.
nice would that be if you saw that?
That's the sexiest thing you can do.
That's what I'm talking about.
I like to say it speaks in terms of the seller's representation or seller's meeting. You mentioned that you might forego the highest price because you have a cleaner offer. Well, you don't want to accept that one $30,000 over if they have no money down and they're going to bail on a financing contingency. But if you have a strong offer, if you did have that person financing contingency waived, then you'd have a lot stronger offer from a buyer. But you can also help your sellers in terms of financing because they might have options on a bridge loan, on a home equity line of credit to take out of their listed property so that they can go and buy something else without necessarily having a contingency of selling their home. So there's ways to waive selling contingencies, using financing just creatively to help whatever situation you find yourself in.
So do you do all loan types? VA, FHA?
VA, FHA, USDA, conventional conforming loans, jumbo loans, construction loans, renovation loans, you name it.
Idaho Housing.
Idaho Housing, first-time home buyers, first, second, third combos, the Heroes program, whatever you're running into, it's going to be available with PRMI. Renovation loans is a great way that nobody considers renovation loans right now, but if you're having a house in this 100 to 200 price range, they can buy that with a regular loan, and then that way they're not trying to get a renovation loan on a purchase because they take maybe 45 days instead of 2 weeks to close. And then they can turn around and do a renovation loan on that home, turn that $120,000 home, because it's in a great location, into a $300,000, $400,000 property using a renovation loan. So there's a lot of additional ways to create inventory.
So is all of your underwriting done
All
up
of-
front? Or is that just like specific
That's an
to
option.
the, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have someone who's a slam dunk, then you don't necessarily want to run through underwriting with that because you don't need to. But if you have someone who is weird hours or weird ways of getting paid or multiple jobs or an independent contractor, and you want to get that through so that it doesn't become a surprise, you can absolutely have all of that looked at up front and know that that person with its tricky income situation that's not even a factor anymore.
Nicole, did you have a question?
Yeah, so I have had 2 sellers in the last month call me and ask, not the sellers, the agent calls me and asks, who's your lender? And I tell them who the lender is, and they say, we're taking your offer, even though it's not the highest, because I like your lender better, and I know it's going to go through. So that's just 2 in a month that have happened.
And just to piggyback on that, that's why it is incredibly important that you are set up from the beginning on having a reputable lender, is because that's part of the package. And so it's just as important as price, is having a reputable lender, that you have the letter in hand that you've been pre-qualified for that goes with your offer. Because if you don't have any of that, your paper is worth nothing. So,
Brian, did you have something?
Yeah, well, just going off of what Nicole has said here, I can't tell you how many times I've said to my sellers, like, I don't know who this guy is, but I know who this guy is. I know this lender. This is a good lender. I mean, when they say it's good to go, it's essentially a guarantee, right? Versus who's this person from the cross? I mean, I have no idea. So lenders do play an important part in this process.
Absolutely. Trying to get trusting a pre-approval letter from something that you clicked on your phone might not be ideal if you haven't talked to a person about the situation. I personally make a call to the listing agent when my buyers have made an offer, to introduce myself, let them know about how long I've been in the industry, about our company. We closed over $10 billion in loans as a company last year. So we have the size to offer everything that you're going to need, but we have the separation from the corporate culture that allows us kind of a distributed model with our local processing, local underwriting, local closing. And so you have the size combined with the local service.
It's fantastic.
And you're right across the street.
And there's that. It's super easy to walk across the street.
Yep, and so they can apply by just contacting Hunter, that's they begin.
Sweet.
It's
Perfect.
fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, PRMI.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, guys, let's talk
Go
on
for it,
speaking
Jessica.
of talking about businesses. I think I'm out of something's going on.
Oh,
Out of
it looks
batteries.
like the user is
There it
Nick having
is,
an
user
error.
error, but I got it covered for Jeremy. So I just want to let you guys know we had some fun nosy neighbors visiting our local businesses this past month. If you haven't checked out the 7 Horse Ranch or the House on Park, we had a really fun, it's a really fun, neat pub downtown. Or that Precision Electric. We did a whole video on having a alternative electricity source to your house. So having a generator built into your house, it was relatively affordable. It was amazing, and people that work from home or in our area, as power goes out, I thought that was super
You
interesting.
don't have to go outside. You don't have to
Yeah.
turn it on. You don't have to fill it up with gas. You don't have to. I mean, it's.
It just kicks on if the
Automatic.
power goes out for more than a second. It's on. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And then also Spitfire Ultra Trail Run. That is coming up, a really cool event that draws people from all over. That's a trail run out up the Manan Butte, which I didn't know was a volcano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so super interesting. We got some cool stuff coming up this next month. I skipped that slide. So take a look. We've got really, really neat businesses coming up in Nosy Neighbors, and hope everyone utilizes those guys and talks to their clients about it. Okay,
Awesome.
that's it.
That's it.
All right. If you want to be in the know on the value of your home, then click on the link or give us a call.
You may feel like prices are high, but there has never been a better time to sell your home and buy a home. Call us and we'll explain why.
Our team has outpaced the market in dollars per home sold and time on the market. If you want to see how your home would sell and how much it would sell for, give us a call.
If you love the idea of having someone to contact at any time, that's the benefit of a team. Give us a call, let us talk about your process and how you can have a better experience, a more satisfying experience in real estate with Murdock Manwaring Company.